All right, everybody, welcome back. I got the truck back from sandblasting. I'm really happy, and I'm also disappointed, but not in the people that did the work. I'm disappointed in myself on poor planning. Before I start this video though, I just wanted to say, I'm gonna try not to cuss in any of my videos anymore because one of the viewers has expressed to me that he would like to be able to watch my videos with his young children who like machines and everything, which I didn't think of it. That never dawned on me. I just I don't think about YouTube when I'm doing YouTube stuff. I'm like, if I'm focused on something, doing it, that's like what I'm focused on. I'm not like an actor. I'm not somebody that's doing YouTube as a career. I don't really make enough money off of YouTube to call it a job or anything. It's just a hobby. So when I'm focused on doing something like this, I'm all in on that, and you know how it is. The words slip out. But it would be nice if he could watch with his kids if that's what he wants to do. So for now on, I think I'm not going to cuss in any of the videos doing stuff, or I'll edit it out if I do, except for when we do those Let's Talk videos. So anyways, why am I disappointed in myself for, well, because when I went and picked this up, it was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was flawless. The entire thing looks like that. And the guy said, "Are you painting it right away?" And I said, "I don't think I'm going to be able to paint it by the time I get home," because it was far away. I got like a ride to go home, like quite a ways to get there, and he said, "Well, you're going to want to paint it right away because it will start to rust again with moisture." And I said, "Well, I'm keeping it inside." And he says, is it a heated garage?" And I said, "No." And he said, "You might get a little rusting again from temperature fluctuation," which we do know that this garage has some temperature fluctuation, and actually it does leak in some places. And we just had a few days of rain, and then the sun heating the building. So yeah, this all looks like this. Now it looks like that, which is really mind-boggling to see it when I brought it home looking like that, and now it looks like that. But he told me that was going to happen. So unfortunately, it was my son's 18th birthday. By the time we got home, by the time we got this unloaded and we got it placed in here, it was like 5 o'clock, because they took them all day to sandblast this, and they did a really phenomenal job. I had them do underneath. I had them do all up here. I mean, they did everything. The problem is, I had to go out that evening for, we had family members here visiting and everything. As I was unloading this in here, my wife was texting me saying, you know, "We're late, hurry up, we're late, hurry up." So I said, "Oh, I'll just deal with it later. It's in a garage." So I don't think it's the end of the world, because I have self-etching primer that I think will take care of that. You know, all the heavy stuff is off. The only other thing is, I had all this held up with the strap. You know, obviously the sandblaster chewed through the strap, and then the bag on the way home I had over the fuel line came off, and as you can see, this all got covered in diesel, because my zip tie and bag, you know, went flying, and you know, the diesel clearly has moisture in it, So, I don't know. I'm a little disappointed because it was flawless. But at the same time, it's like 100% better than it was. And these guys did, like, they even did the rims. I didn't even ask them to. And I paid them $1,800 to do the rear end, the whole frame, these parts right here, which is mind-boggling because these parts that they did right there were 100% white. Not white, but like that gray. So that looked like that. This whole milk crate full of parts looked like that. So I don't know what to do about that. I don't think I should re-sandblast it. And then what happened was I got super busy with work. So unfortunately, I had to go do a few jobs and it's been a few days. So let me get the paint out. I'll show you what I got for paint. I'm not sponsored by these people or whatever. I'm gonna try their paint and we'll see what happens. And if I don't like it, I'll publicly bash them. And if I do like it, I'll tell everybody I like it. All right, so like I was saying, there's no sponsorships here. There's no nothing. I have 0 sponsorships of products as of right now. I will definitely let you know if one is a sponsorship. But right now, nobody's paying me to say anything about anything. I'm just trying stuff. So I got this Eastwood stuff, self-etching primer, gray. I got a gallon of that. And then I got the 2K ceramic chassis black. I got a gallon of that. I also got the activator, urethane activator, 4-to-1. So yeah, but first we have to clean up. I got wax and grease remover. This came from the local auto parts store. This was $100. I think all of this was like $400 or $500. I don't remember, to be honest with you. I'm hoping that by washing everything with this wax and grease remover and then using self-etching primer, because self-etching primer will actually acid etch and put a little rust to the metal. That's been my experience with it. I'm hoping that by doing that, that'll take care of some of this, you know, because I thought about wire wheeling it, but it's just, I just don't want to, you know what I mean? I'm like so busy with work, and I got so much going on that I just don't want to. I might do it though, you know? I mean, these guys did a phenomenal job. I have no problem telling you that I had General Sandblasting out of Bridgewater, Massachusetts do this. And they went like all down the frame on the inside. Like, look at that. Normally, you have a guy sandblast your frame, and I've had them do it before places. They'll only do the outside under the cab, you know, and they don't go up inside or anything. They gave me a great price to do everything plus the cross members and all the parts. It was $1,800, which I couldn't have been happier with, because realistically, I mean, I didn't even ask them to do the rims and they did them. But realistically, here's the thing. I could have burned through freaking $1,000 on sand buying the Black Beauty bags of sand. I know, because I've done a lot of sandblasting in my life with trucks and stuff. And let me tell you something. Unless you're properly set up for it, it's not worth it. You see these compressors here? These things here, you'll just burn one of those out. And the other thing too to remember is that is not constant 120 PSI at the tip. Okay? One of those big sandblasters is constantly at 120 PSI. So you're not wasting the sand. Every little bit of sand that's hitting the frame is at its full potential. Whereas that will bleed down, lose air pressure, go down to 40, 60, whatever. And then you're getting sand coming out of the end of the gun that you're smacking it at like 50% potential. So it's not doing as good. So if you're not set up for sandblasting, if you're going to do something small like I'm going to do the sheet metal, no problem. Those things are fine all day long. But I've burned one of those out before, cooked the motor, you know, just trying to sandblast. So well, it seems to be working pretty good. So I'm just going to keep doing this. And then hit it with the wax and grease remover. And then hopefully I can get some of that self-etching primer on here. It's just super I'm just like wicked disappointed in myself. Wicked. There's a New England word. You definitely want to have eye protection if you're doing this. These things, I can feel them coming off and sticking into my jeans. So, if you're going to do this, make sure you have eye protection. I also like hearing protection because I've noticed over the years of running loud stuff that I've developed a slight ringing when I go to sleep. So I have to sleep with the TV on just to drown out the ringing. And I think that's from years of running loud things. All right, so it just dawned on me that some of you might be thinking, didn't you just say, Steve, that you've been sandblasting things for years? How did you not know that leaving it would cause moisture to rust it? Well, to be honest with you, I've never had the luxury of really doing anything in shop. My buddy who's in the military, he's on deployment, and I painted the skid steer in here because I did a bunch of work around here for him, and then I just recently did a bunch of work around here again at his property, so he in return let me use his shop. Normally my whole life I would sandblast something outside with a little sandblasting pot, and then I would have to primer it right away. So when the sandblasting guy on the forklift was loading the rear end, and he told me, be careful if you're putting it in a garage that's not insulated, I kind of thought to myself, it's only going to be in there for like a day or two. There's no way, you know, no direct rain. You know what I mean? Indoors closed. So that's kind of how we ended up where we're at. Because I figured, what the hell is a couple days not going to hurt? Well, what happened was I got super busy with work, and a couple days turned into over a week. So what I got to do is, because we're going to get more rain tonight, and not only did that corner leak over there, but I just noticed there's a lot of water coming in here, so I gotta hurry up and get this done. I moved the rear end over here. I moved his pickup truck out of here. I got another grinder because we burnt out the other grinder, and I'm gonna continue just going at it. All right, I got it pretty clean. It's like 2 hours later, but Look at the sky. The clouds are gonna start rolling in. And I really don't want to do another night of rain and moisture in this building without having primer on it. So I'm gonna at least primer it today, because I just sat there with the wire wheel and, well, you saw. I think I'm gonna wipe those cross members down. We'll throw some primer on those too. I don't know how much you guys can tell, but this Eastwood stuff is like water. So I'm gonna give it a good stir. It says Eastwood, do the job right. So, okay, Eastwood company, let's hope you're right. Uh-oh, I spilt it on that cross member. Yeah, it's watery all right. I was reading this the other day. It says self-etching primer is ready to use and requires nothing. Stir thoroughly so mixture is uniform. Thinner non-necessary. Yeah, you're telling me. But if desired, thin up to 20%. No thanks. With high quality lacquer thinner. No, we won't be thinning it anymore. So far, I don't like this stuff. It's really watery and it's hard not to run it. I mean, at this rate, I'm gonna have to do like 10 thin coats, because if you try to go heavy, and I stirred that gallon up pretty good. See how watery it is? That sucks because this is going to take forever if I got to do 10 coats. Usually primer you can just lay it on, you know? When it's watery like that, I like to turn the air down a little, because if not, you're just wasting it in the air. It ends up everywhere but where you're working. Well, it dries quick. I guess we have to just go like a little bit at a time. Oh well, we're gonna be here all night. I don't care about getting a cab because we're going to paint this truck anyways. I mean, this stuff sucks. Look at it. Oh, I won't be using the Eastwood primer no more. It's way too hard to spray. I put the gun down to the recommended setting like they said, and it's just like water. It's like you gotta do like 100 coats. I'm completely out of this stuff. I mean, granted, normally like Rust-Oleum, I could paint like the whole frame 3 times. I'm already out, and I haven't even done under the cab of the truck. So, not a fan. Alright guys, I'm extremely aggravated. I'm all out of this stuff. I was doing a little research on my phone. Looks like we can still save it. Because, sounds like I gotta go get urethane primer to paint over this self-etching primer. So I'm gonna go to Sherwin-Williams tomorrow. There's one next town over. And I'm gonna see what they have for primer. Remember when I said I wasn't gonna cuss in the beginning of the video? Now would be the time when I did. Oh yeah. In between days of working on this, we're actually bidding jobs, and you know, it's sunny out, and I have him, because we haven't been getting the paint on this quick enough, and then it rained a few days, and now I have him just cleaning all this flash rust off of the brackets. So like that's what he's been sandblasting, all those brackets out here so we don't make a mess in here with that little handheld sandblaster, and it's doing a nice job.
Hold on, out of sand again.
You should flip the lid upside down, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just thought that, right?
No, hold that whole entire thing. There you go.
Whole thing?
Yeah, that way if you spill any, it goes into the bucket. How you like my little funnel I made for that?
I was wondering about this.
Well, because if not, you end up wasting it.
Yeah.
See this Chem Bond? This is thick. I'm hoping we don't have to reduce this, but they said I didn't have to, but this is like what I like to see in a primer. You know, not that watery stuff. So I think today what we're gonna do is shoot another coat of primer on this in all those parts. Bryson, show them I got the parts laid out.
Yep.
Then I think we'll let this dry, and then like maybe tomorrow I might be able to get a coat of the black chassis paint on it. But I want to bolt the rear end up, so I only want to spray the chassis black where the rear end bolts up, because what I want to do is I want to cover up the lift, and I want to put the rear end in to balance the truck back out, so we can pick up the front also with the lift. and then I'll be able to get all up everywhere with the black.
This stuff is really nice and thick. I probably should reduce it a little, but I don't want to. I like the way it's painted. No runs.
Maybe gonna put some sunglasses on or something, or not sunglasses, but eye protection. The only problem is I can't stand spraying with eye protection because you can't see what you're doing. I run at high temperature, so they fog up. Anyways, so far, I like this stuff a lot. You can lay it on really heavy. The only thing, and I did all of this down here, a little bit under there, the inside of this frame rail, and a little bit of that one, and I'm not even through one cup of this. The only problem is the compressor. You gotta blow this stuff. It works better at a high, what do you call it? I think if I do this again using this, I'm gonna invest in one of those electric sprayers. You just put the paint thing in, you know, rather than do air. Alright, that's how it's going on. I would definitely invest in an industrial sprayer. Definitely the next time I use this stuff. I love the way it's going on, nice and thick. And its coverage is great. Like, it's covering a lot. I'm still on 1 cup, so I'm pretty happy about that. Definitely need a haircut. But I don't want to ruin this camera because this thing I just got, it was like almost $600. So rather than bring you underneath the truck with me and destroy this camera, because there's already a couple little specks I got to get off the lens here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this up. I'll let you know what it looks like in the end, and then we'll go from there. All right, it's like 6 o'clock at night. I've been here all day. Even cracked my screen on my new camera. Not real happy about that, but whatever. That's it for priming the frame. I got all the parts, you know, primed. Got all of these. This took a while because I had to, like, kept flipping them. The stuff dries fast, but there's a couple of them. This one I kind of missed. I don't know how, but I forgot this one. The only problem I'm having now is the 5/8 bolt that's supposed to go in here doesn't go in here. So, I don't know. My buddy has a ream, so I'm probably gonna go get that and ream the hole a little bit. And then I'm going to re-primer all the holes. Okay, new day. Let me shut this off. Just trying to get it warm in here. It is cold out. So, as you can see, I shot a little bit of black, and I'll tell you what, Eastwood totally redeemed themselves on the chassis black paint. I really like this paint. It's not like crazy shiny black, but it's a frame. Like, we're not building a show truck here. So, I like the way that it paints. I'll show you in a minute. I was gonna end the video at primering, and then I don't know why, I like dawned on me like, that's kind of a stupid place to end the video. So yes, this video is long, and I don't care. Anyways, let me see, because I had to go get new cups. So if you're gonna paint this Eastwood paint, you're gonna need to go get new cups. So I paid at Sherwin-Williams like 16 bucks for these cups. I got some more of the screen funnels. And I was tired of the paint dribbling down the side of the bucket. So I got a lid for the paint. It's like silicone, reusable. Yeah, so, and it's got a cap to pour the paint. So we'll see how this works out. But once you paint this chassis black paint into this cup, kiss the cup goodbye. And then once you mix the 4-to-1 activator, I noticed that it dries pretty quick to the touch, which creates a little bit of a problem because you're overlapping. Anybody that's ever painted a car or painted something knows you want to keep your wetness continuing. What that means is, so like if you get to a spot here, see, I kept it wet here. The last place I painted was actually here. So what happened was I must have went backwards over it, and that's how you got that drier look than the wet look. You know, so you have to start here, lay it on heavy, and keep going, and keep going. And then by the time you get down there, this has already started to flash. And once you try to go back over the flash, you get a haze like that, you know. However, because it's a frame, I don't care. And because once we bolt the rear end in, I'm gonna lay it on real heavy anyways. I'm not doing under the truck right now. I'm just doing the 2 frame rails and all the parts. And I did the hangers, you know, but it's got like that nice, I don't know, factory pickup truck frame look. You know, when you buy a frame, it's not like that Rust-Oleum super shiny look. You know what I mean? It looks like when you buy a truck factory, you know, the frame. What I want to do is, I stopped painting because I ran out, and then the cups are trashed, and you can't see the numbers to remix it. So I went and got a whole bunch. They were like $1 a piece, like $1 and some change, because this is 4-to-1. So to mix a second batch, and this stuff lays on pretty good. So I'm really happy with the Eastwood 2K ceramic, you know, whatever it says, chassis black, satin underbody color. I think that's what it says. I don't know. I got paint all over it. But it's 4-to-1. So for those of you who don't paint and don't know how these cups work, they have all these mixtures up there. You know, 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 4, you know, 3-1-1. So that's like if you have, you know, two what is the word? So like 2 parts after the main, you know. So if you have 3 parts, you know, so like part 1 would be like your base, like material, then like some sort of activator, and then like some extra hardener or something, or you know, it's for different paints, all different paints. But this is a 4-to-1. So what that means is like yesterday, I went up to the 3. Okay, so if you go to the 3 with your paint, then this little activator, you are, let's see here. So if you're at the 3 with paint, then you go to the next 3 with your activator. So I got more cups. What I'm going to do is I will get ready, mix this up. I'll show you. And then we will spray the other side of that frame rail. I left this just to show you. I started painting that first. Then I realized, hey, I should probably show these guys, you know, the paint. So then I jumped over there and painted those parts. But what I'll do is I will show you on this frame rail how this Eastwood chassis black goes down. Still not a fan of their self-etching primer, only because it's really watery, but I really like this chassis black paint. And I'm sure you could get shiny or whatever. I just got the satin because it's just a frame. You know what I mean? I just want the frame black. My truck is going to be shiny, so. All right. Let's do it. All right, I opened the door because I don't have the respirator on so I can talk to you better. I put this lid thing on, but I don't know how well. I mean, look at it, comes up easy. I think I might turn it around and put this on this over here. Let's see how this works. Okay, so I put, because I don't have a stand, so if you don't have a stand for your paint gun, milk crates work really good. So you just put the thing, don't put it on this end because you can roll it over. I've used a milk crate without any weight on it, and if you put it over here leaning over, it does work. Okay, but I have the paint on there anyways, just for so I can get this up to show you. So we're gonna do 4, 2, 1. This paper screen is like taking its time. Probably don't need it, but we'll do it anyways. It's like snail's pace, so I'm gonna ditch the paper screen. Yeah, this is very slow. Just dribbling here. We're almost there. This stuff does stink though, so make sure you use a respirator at all times. So stop right at the 3 with the paint. So far this thing's working pretty good. So now we'll do the activator. So you see we are at the 3 on the 4 to 1. So we're gonna go to the 3 with the activator. All right. Then you just stir this really good until it has an even consistency and it's no longer watery. So let me stir this, put it in the gun, and then I'll show you how it sprays. But I gotta get the respirator on because, like I said, the smell and all these chemicals are like cancer causing, agent, so see how it's like a more consistent. It's hard to tell on camera, but so if you wanted to thin it, you would probably have to use the 4:1:1 chart over here. So, but you would have to figure out what thinner would thin this. As of right now, I'm cleaning the gun with this xylene. Regular paint thinner won't do it. You have to figure out which chemicals work for which paints, because some cleaners don't clean certain paints. I don't recommend mixing a lot of this because your gun will not hold 2 of these. So unless you have a bigger gun or like a pressure pot or something that you're spraying with, I wouldn't recommend. I would recommend mixing as you need it. But do you see why I was saying like get another cup? Because we're empty, but you can't really read and reuse these. And you can't thin this out or clean it with the thinner and pour it into there. So you're gonna have to sacrifice these. Okay, we're gonna start with the outside first. I've already adjusted the fan. I got it to where I want it now. The trick with this is to lay it on wet and heavy and start down this end and go that way. I might cut the air down a little bit. There we go. Now, you might be thinking, what are you going to do about here? We are going to be welding in a pintle hitch plate here. So I'm not really worried about the bottom because I'm going to probably have to grind this paint off and then put a triangle gusset down here to the plate anyways. So I'm not too fussy about that in case you were wondering how I was going to do with that. But you can see if you go over it again, watch. See the color difference? For a split second, it changes. You can actually see it. I don't know if that showed up on camera, but I gotta be careful with this camera too. I already cracked the screen and this camera was like almost $600. The other thing too is I actually drained the water out of the tank of the compressor. You want to drain any kind of water out of your tank, and if you're going to paint the cab, you're going to want to put on a water separator. This compressor has a water separator, and there's also an extra one down there. And my compressor
that we're going to be putting in our shop when we build our shop, which is in the works. We're going to be breaking ground soon, I hope. But our shop, we're going to have even more of a dryer. So when we do painting on the vehicles and stuff, we can get it even drier. So the other thing I found out is that if you're like me and you like to spray your paint thicker, less reduced, you can like crank up the air. I cranked the air up a little bit, and this stuff doesn't run. It's actually nice. So I'll show you here. Let's see. And that's spraying between 80 and we'll see what it goes down to. Was that almost 60?
Okay, I'm going to finish painting the rest of this. I just wanted to say that I'm really happy with the Eastwood, the way it turned out. This is my first time using the Eastwood frame paint. Not so much the self-etching primer that I got from them was terrible, only because it was watery. So if anyone from Eastwood sees this and they got a solution to it being very watery, you know, let me know. But as far as the chassis black 2K, I'm really happy with that paint. I'm really happy with the way that it lays down, the way that it looks after. You know, it sprays good. And once again, I'm not a professional, so you should do all your research on all this stuff before you attempt any of this. And don't go just by what I say. This is all just my opinion from a backyard, because we're in the backyard. DIY. Alright guys, this is a week later. We've already bolted in the rear end of the truck. That'll be in the next video. But I just wanted to jump on here before I end this video and tell you I don't like the Eastwood paint. If it works for you and you've had success with it, by all means, keep using it, whatever. I personally won't be purchasing it anymore. And I know I just said that I liked it, but that's until we started bolting the parts together and the paint was chipping everywhere with ease. I mean, we rubbed an air hose against it and it chipped. And after following all the directions, and after shutting the camera off and turning the heater on, because the heater's really loud, and making sure that the shop is at the right temperature, and we also made sure that we mixed it right. We also made sure that we sprayed it at the right setting that they tell you to spray it at. We did everything right, and it's flaking and chipping. The next, I think it was 30-something hours after we painted it that we started working on it. And they tell you you can handle the parts and you can handle stuff within 24 hours. So then I thought to myself, well, maybe it needed more time to cure. So as I'm talking to you right now, it's been over a week. So I just went down there this morning and I tried to chip it again a little bit, and it chips again. So a week later. So I'm not really happy with that. I'm gonna go back to Sherwin-Williams and I'm gonna get whatever industrial black paint that they have that goes over that Chem-Bond primer, because that Chem-Bond primer is not flaking. We're getting chips of black paint chipping off. So anyways, stick around. Make sure you tune into the next video, which is already been filmed, where we bolted in the rear end and the cross members, and that took us a couple days to do it. But as of right now, I just want to jump on here and tell you that I don't like the Eastwood products. I won't be paying for it anymore. It was expensive, and I know I just said that I did like it, but after dealing with it a few days after it's been dry, I don't like it. I liked it when I was spraying it. It sprayed good, but I don't like the outcome of it after it dried. So hit the like button and we'll see you on the next one.